So moving on, we'll talk about the Indianapolis Colts at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Indianapolis Colts surprisingly 2-2 versus the 0-4 Jacksonville Jaguars. Wouldn't have been surprised if those records were flipped. Mike, if you want to take this one, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, just my thoughts right now with the Indianapolis Colts is this is looking very similar to how it looked when Josh Allen first started his career. Just kind of with you're getting maximum amount of reps. You're the guy there. You are playing every single game, waiting for this progression to happen. But just with the style of game he's played, putting himself in danger, and then in turn putting the entire organization in a bit of a conundrum of where he's got to protect himself. I think Jonathan Taylor has played very well, but one of the major points of it is that there's so many questions on this Indianapolis Colts defense on top of the questions on the Jacksonville Jaguar side. I like the over, but it seems like just the exposure that he's gotten of having to you know make a play. We haven't seen all of the. I mean, they have so many young weapons in the wide receiver core. We haven't seen those guys step up. I mean, they're very lucky to have given Jonathan Taylor the contract that they did, just to keep him on the team, because he has seemed to be one of the main points of production on the offensive side of the ball. Just with I like the under at 46.5. It's a 3-point spread. Jags are favored at home. I think there's equal questions on the Jacksonville side of the ball. Brian Thomas has emerged as the number one target. Maybe take him as an anytime touchdown player. I don't want to touch this spread at all. I think there's just way too many questions. But I mean, Doug Peterson is coaching for his life right now.
Yeah,
So if you're going to lean one way in terms of where the desperation lies, it's going to be on the Jaguars. They're going to have to move the ball. I think Tank's, and what's been very interesting to watch is I think Tank Bigsby is coming on
right.
as the number one running back for the
Interesting.
Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, Travis Etienne is so good for the stretch that he has been healthy the past couple of years. But I mean, Tank Bigsby's emerging as more explosive, helping their offensive line and taking some of the pressure off of Trevor Lawrence. If he doesn't keep turning the ball over, I mean, it's and there's one thing I want to get your guys' thoughts on is there's been a lot of questions about who is doing the play calling. Is it Doug Peterson or is it Press Taylor? Doug Peterson kind of avoided the question in his press conference this week. So it's almost as if he's deflecting blame about this 0-4 start, which you got to play above boards with this stuff. I mean, people have to know where the plays are coming from, who this is falling on. There's way too many questions surrounding Jacksonville. Indianapolis is where it is. I like both team totals under, and I like the under 46.5. Maybe sprinkling a Jonathan Taylor anytime touchdown. But, moving the ball is going to be an issue, I think, at least on the Jacksonville side. But, well, and who knows? There's questions on the Colts defensive side. There's a lot of questions. What do you think, Pat?
A lot of questions in the game. I mean, I think that the recurring theme of Jacksonville's season so far has just been missed opportunities, right? I mean, each game you think that this could be the time where it clicks with Trevor Lawrence and the talent across that offensive side for sure. And obviously, Brian Thomas has had a big year to begin with, but you talk about the talent level across that entire roster, and you see that it hasn't amounted to wins. I think they're due to, uh, I guess, have a regression to the mean in a positive way to sort of ascend to the mean, just based on how much talent there is there that we've seen Trevor Lawrence figure it out before. I think that the Colts defense might be a solid way to correct that, a solid team to correct that against, because that we've seen that running defense has struggled mightily before. I think though that the key to this game is going to be the Colts' offensive attack and how balanced they're able to keep it between using Jonathan Taylor as a true bell cow with a standard game manager like Joe Flacco, but then also at the same time knowing that we saw as of a year ago that Joe Flacco can lead an explosive offense at the same time. So I do like the Jaguars to get right here and win this game just based on the way that I think that it's only a matter of time before that offense ends up converting on some of these missed opportunities. Like I said, has been the theme of their season. And I think that the Colts offense, it's probably going to be more consistent with Joe Flacco, but you obviously lose that big play potential that Anthony Richardson could, as only he could, brought to that team. So give me the Jaguars in terms of just being a more talented team across the board with their starting quarterback to win this game and get right, because I think that they're just too good not to get it right this season at some point.
And Christian, one point to make, it is looking like Trey Sermon is going to be the lead back for Indianapolis going into this. It just questions with Jonathan Taylor's health. I mean,
Ankle.
yeah. I mean, and we'll see. They're going backup quarterback, backup running back. But I mean, we've seen Joe Flacco do it before. Something about Flacco, but I mean, he's maybe he does have the magic to make it happen in the intermediate passing game. I know there's questions on the Jacksonville side. Kind of what do you think with the likely substitutions are going to have to be made for them to get into this game?
Yeah, I mean, key injuries for Jacksonville right now. Their top corner, Tyson Campbell, is out. It looks like they got an injury, a concussion for Josh Hines-Allen. Devin Lloyd, questionable. We don't know. Foyo Alokun, he is out as well. So those are some key studs on their defense that they're missing. I know we might not have Jonathan Taylor, but those are a lot of pieces for Jacksonville to be missing. I'm going to go with Indianapolis. And my only real question for Indianapolis going forward was if it was a better idea to go with Joe Flacco for the remainder of the season. I understand you shouldn't lose your job to injury, all of that. But at the same time, I do feel like Joe Flacco just knows how to orchestrate an offense at a much higher rate. This team is not dead by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. Houston's 3-1. They're 2-2. They're a game out. I love what Joe Flacco did in substitution for them. I think he should get the starting job going forward. And you saw it with the connection to Josh Downs right away with the short passing game. Even without Jonathan Taylor, I think they'll be able to move the ball up the field. I don't know if you could say the same when they had Anthony Richardson at the helm. And for Jacksonville, it's the offense, I think, that struggles. I mean, as you mentioned before, Pat, a 4th and goal, you run a quarterback draw, you don't get it. I mean, that sums up pretty much the Trevor Lawrence-led Jaguars since he's been there. So I don't know what they're going to do going forward. If they lose, go 0-5 this year, I don't even know what draft pick could bring any semblance of success to this franchise. I mean, maybe a O-lineman or something like that, but they're bottom 3 in the NFL in third down conversion rate. And it just seems like they don't have it.
Travis Hunter, baby.
Well,
Travis Hunter. What are they going to do?
You mentioned Travis. I mean, there's been a lot of struggles with Travis Etienne. I mean, they haven't been able to run Tank Bigsby has become the guy there. And I think if they lose this game, that becomes the hottest seat in the NFL for Doug Peterson.
Sure. Well, we will definitely talk about hot seat, one more hot seat that I would maybe argue with, but we'll come to that one later.